Yeah. ज्ञानेन आकाशकल्पेन धर्मान् यो गगनोपमान् ज्ञेयाभेदेन सम्बुद्धः तं वन्दे द्विपदां वरम्. In previous very famous among the prevalent existing culture. Of course, Saraswati is well known. Savitri is also well known. But another deity, her name is Sarama. Sarama. A very nice name. And she occurs in several places of Rigveda as a hound of heaven. That is, she is taken to be the dog of Lord Indra, whose work is to search and find. Sometimes fawn is also taken to be the symbol of searching and finding in the Vedas. Fawn or she-deer. And of course, both of them, deers and dogs, are expert in searching and finding. And of course, Hinduism is well known for having all flora, fauna, animals and birds as gods and goddesses. We include everything. Nearby this Coimbatore only, there is a reserved forest. I don't know how far it is from Vaidyagrama. Have any of you heard about Marayur nearby Coimbatore, reserved forest? Yeah, nearby Udumalaipetai. A huge reserved forest is there. Whenever I come to Udumalaipetai, I prefer to go travel in that forest. A very deep forest. And in this forest, by crossing a huge area of forest, we go to a village named Marayur. And we can find there some place to walk and all. With me, a couple had come. They are very old. And then I wished to walk. And that old lady also wanted to come with me, but that person, the Tata, wanted to stay there in the car. Then this party said, party means granny. she said to that old man, may you be here, but don't open the doors. Apes will come. And we brought so many eatables. Apes will come and take all of them. He nodded his head, okay, okay. And that old lady and myself, we went for a walk. After half an hour, while coming back, surprisingly, we saw a thing. All doors are opened of this car, and this gentleman, this old man, was sitting very happily. Around him, various monkeys are standing and jumping with him, and he is playing with them, offering these fruits, bananas, and also nuts and all to those monkeys. That lady was shocked. Lady said, oh, apes have come, apes have entered into the car, and they are jumping upon you. Then this old man responded, yes, sir. Apes are doing mischiefs and all, so those are all fine, because these are all Hanuman. Hanuman, right? Hanumanji hai. Therefore, let them do whatever they want to do. Why I am telling this? When I was seeing this, I could understand the Hindu mindset. Seeing apes as Hanuman. We include all. Monkey is Hanuman. And mouse is associated with Ganesha. Lion is associated with Simhavahini, Durga. Bull is associated with Lord Shiva and Dharma, in fact. Bull is a symbol of Dharma. Cow is anyhow a sacred animal. Cow is worshipped, and this cow represents Mahalakshmi, Kamadev. The same way, of course, tiger represents here Dharma Shastra, and the peacock represents Skanda, Kumara, or Muruga. And then any other thing left out? Crow represents Sanaishchara and Kakabhusandi. Snake, yeah, very important. Snake represents Lord Shiva, and of course in Karnataka, Kumara, Kartikeya. Owl represents Mahalakshmi. In this way, all animals and birds are included in Hindu worship. This is very interesting. All these things are included. Of course, dog in our Puranic religion is associated to Dattatreya. In the Veda, dog is Sarama, a feminine deity. And this Sarama is a symbolic representation of searching and finding. Sri Aurobindo, when he came to India, he was only a great patriot. Later he became a saint. Unfortunately, his patriot dimension was forgotten by the people. He is a very great leader like Gokhale or Tilak. And the dimension of Sri Aurobindo disappeared gradually due to his sainthood or spirituality. He was in Alipur jail and he came out of it. While he was in prison, he read the Gita and he developed his spiritual dimension. Gradually, he was convinced that anyhow freedom is going to come to India. So, people are working, freedom will be coming. Let me withdraw myself for my tapasya, for my meditation. I need a place where the British police should not come and disturb my tapasya. Neither I am going to participate further in freedom fight. So, what kind of place I can choose? Subramanya Bharatiyar and others, they suggested him to come to Pondicherry. He stayed in Pondicherry and he started his sadhana. And he had several Vedic experiences. It's a very important thing. Deep insights from the Veda. Very unusual. Normally, Veda is taken to be Karma Kanda, used only for rituals. For other things, it should not be used. Only Upanishads are the books of Jnana, self-knowledge. That was the perception. But Sri Aurobindo sees the Vedic literature as a guide for spirituality. He did not go to the Veda, but Veda came to him. He wrote several books based on the Veda. One previously I mentioned, Savitri. Another one, Hymns on the Mystic Fire. Third one, very important book, that is The Secret of the Veda. Secret of the Veda. The Secret of the Veda, almost he covered around some 300 mantras from Rigveda. It is a thesis. It is a very rational, researchful thesis. Unfortunately, these kinds of books regarding the Veda are not well recognized in academics. In academics, a few other books are there, written by Max Muller or R.T.H. Griffith and all. And they did not know the depth of this culture. They were not initiates, and they were not aware of the yogic, esoteric insights. Without that, Vedas cannot be appreciated. One of the most glorious, most famous Rigvedic translator, R.T.H. Griffith, whose translation is still there in academics, he writes in his translation, in his preface, I could see that. I am surprised. He says, the 9th mandala of Rigveda, which generally we consider as the most beautiful mandala, he says, is the most boring mandala. And the same gentleman translated Valmiki Ramayana also. Translation is nice. I am not just ignoring the translation. All these things are available in internet. When you go to the translation, when it comes to the 5th book, which is Sundarakanda, you go there and see what he has written. Sundarakanda, something in footnotes. He has written in footnotes. This Kanda is called a Sundarakanda because it is considered to be the book of beauty. But I don't see any beauty in it. It is totally boring and filled with this monotony. That is how he has written. And his translation is taken to be one of the authentic translations of Ramayana. Quite often read translation of Ramayana. See, these kinds of people, their translations are promoted in the world. And unfortunately, the translations of the great seers like Sri Aurobindo, in the academics, they are ignored. Okay, when we come back to this Secret of the Veda, even though it is a researchful book, even though it is a thesis of the Veda, in the beginning of the thesis, he says something very unusual to a thesis, something very mystic. He says that he had a darshan of a Rigvedic deity. He says this. And this deity is Sarama. That's why I am telling all these things. Okay. And also he mentions in my remembrance another deity, Ila. Okay. Ila, I was talking in previous session. Ila, Sarama, these are the very important deities of Rigveda, about which he mentions. And impelled by these deities, when I could go through the mantras of the Rigveda, I start to understand the esoteric meaning of those mantras. This is what he says. So Sarama is a channel through which he catches the internal meaning of the mantra. That is what he says. Anyhow, in previous session we saw how cows are sun rays. Have we dealt with that? No. Cow is associated with the earth. We dealt with that. Yeah. Cow in the Vedic language also represents sun rays. Okay, I don't know how. Ayurvedic doctors may explain how these three are connected. Cow, sun rays and the earth. Okay. In the Veda, these three are connected. All these three are called as Gauhu. In Sanskritam, it is called as Gauhu. And these cows are hidden in the cave. When the cows are hidden in the cave, it is Sarama's duty to find the cows. The robbers named Dasyus. Dasyu is not a proper noun for your information. Many people mistake Dasyu to be a proper noun. Dasyu is neither a clan nor a race. In the Veda, Dasyu means to any Sanskrit student. Go to any Sanskrit dictionary. Dasyu means a robber, that's all. Thief. Okay. The same gentleman, R.T.H. Griffiths and the Max Muller misinterpreted the word Dasyu as Dravidian. I don't know how Dravidian came into. These guys are the, seeds of the existing Dravidian parties and all. Okay, leave it. What is his name? I have forgotten. One who came from the Western world on those days. He is the grandfather of this Dravidian theory. I have forgotten his name. He was a torch bearer. I have forgotten his name. Yeah. Coming back. So, Dasyu has nothing to do with the Dravidian and all. Dasyu is neither a race nor a clan. Huh? Another person. Okay. So, Dasyu in Sanskrit dictionary is a robber, thief. In fact, in Valmiki's Ramayana, while Ramarajya is described, Nirdasyu Rabhavatu Lokaha. The world was free of Dasyus. This can be wrongly translated. In Ramarajya, genocide happened, all Dravidians were destroyed. Fortunately, nobody translated it. I should not give this lead. See, if you take Dasyu as Arya is a race, Dasyu is a race. That is how they translate. Wrong translation. Arya. Neither Arya is a race. Okay. When it comes to the Lord Buddha, if he talks something about Arya, the same scholars translate the word Arya as noble. Arya Satyam of the Lord Buddha is translated as noble truths. 4 noble truths, 8 noble truths, you might have heard of it. It's Arya Satyam of Buddha. And in fact, the translation noble for the word Arya is a right kind of translation. Arya doesn't mean any race in the Vedic literature. For your information, when the biological sciences are growing more and more advanced, we find a reality that there is nothing called race in the world. Nothing defines a race. Humans in general exist, and nowadays biologists believe or they observe that most of the humans came from Africa. Finished. Out of Africa theory. Okay. In this, what to talk about race? Where is race? There is nothing called race. But when they believed strongly the race, on those days, before a century, they translated Arya as a separate race, Dasyu as another race. Well, there is a fight between Devas and the Dasyus. It is misinterpreted as the fight between Aryans and the Dravidians. These things have no meaning. To rule the world. They are existing words only. I don't reject that there is no word. And also in Sanskrit, Ayya, Ayyanar, Ayyan, Ayyar, Ayyapan. Okay. The same way, Dasyu, when we come to Dasyu, Dasyu means a thief. And the thieves have stolen the cows of Indra or Aryas. Those cows were hidden in the cave. And this Sarama goes in search of these cows. Sarama is Indra's hound. She goes in search of those cows. She finds these cows somewhere in the hidden cave. She reports to Indra. Indra comes and breaks. That is how the story goes. It's a symbol. This Sarama is a symbol of search and find. Both sides search and find. And Indra is the mental power. Okay. The mastery. Indra is mastery. Of course, his name itself suggests. Ishana Devata. And Idi Paramaishwarya. That is Indra. And then Dasyus are the stealing sensations psychologically. They are the tamas, the darkness within our own mind. They steal our potentials. Potentials are cows. They steal our potentials. And our potentials are hidden in the cave, in the cavity, covered with materialism. Okay. The mountain is taken to be matter here. So when the mountain is broken within the cave, the potentials are, the race, the cows, the potentials are found by Indra. In this context, Mother Sarama comes. The same Sarama is occurring in the context of Yama also. I don't want to go into the depth of it. But interestingly, there is a character named Sarama in Valmiki's Ramayana. Have you heard of it? Ravana comes to Ashoka Grove and he says, I have killed Rama. I chopped the head of Rama. And he shows the head of Rama. It is only a Maya. It is an illusory head. On seeing that head, Sita Devi cries like anything. She laments throughout a chapter. A chapter is dedicated for this. Ravana is enjoying. He is a sadist. He enjoys Sita's cry. Finally, Ravana goes away. At that time, Sarama comes. Valmiki introduces this character in this way. Sarama is a very close friend of Sita in Ashokavana. I don't see any Ayodhya friend of Sita's, any name of Ayodhya friend of Sita in Valmiki's Ramayana. No Mithila Sakhi, no Mithila friend is introduced in the epic. But Sita's friends in Lanka, Sita's friends in Ashoka Grove, like Anala or Sarama or Trijata, they have very vital roles to play. And their names are given by Valmiki, Maharshi Valmiki. What I feel is, friend, what is the proverb? Friend in need is friend in deed. Upakara phalam mitram. Upakara is the feature, an important feature of friendship. So, when Sita Devi is in a very great disaster, only some woman in Lanka became solace. Therefore, Valmiki considers them very important and he names them he gives the names of those characters. They play a vital role in Ramayana. Not even Ayodhya friends or Mithila friends of Sita. This is very interesting. He says that Sarama is a very close friend of Sita. Sarama consoles Sita, and Sarama goes and finds that Rama is safe. Rama was not attacked by Ravana yet. And she comes and informs this to Sita Devi. Okay. Anyhow, the work of Sarama too is to search and find. Please understand. In Ramayana, the same Rigvedic Sarama, her work is also to search and find. Ramayana Sarama is also to search and find Rama for Sita. I see a connection between Ramayana Sarama and Vedic Sarama. See, when we go through the chapter in Valmiki's Ramayana, the Sarama chapter, 2 or 3 chapters, we may take easily Valmiki Sarama to be a character found in Valmiki who has nothing to do with Rigvedic Sarama. But when it comes to some hints by Valmiki, especially when Sarama is consoling Sita, at the end, Sarama suggests Sita to do Surya Upasana, to again get back Ramachandra. This suggestion is something. This triggers us to think that this Sarama is connected to Vedic Sarama. Another thing also triggers us to think that this Sarama must be Vedic Sarama, because there is another character in Ramayana in this same context, in Lanka, Sita's friend. Her name is Trijata. Please understand. She is also a very interesting character. When we go through a commentary of Ramayana, he is from Andhra Pradesh. I have forgotten his name. Anyhow, tomorrow I will refer and tell you his name. Because tomorrow I am going to deal much more regarding Ramayana. Okay. The Devi is found in Ramayana. That I am going to deal with tomorrow. A very important commentator, Kshemendra. His name is Kshemendra. He describes Lanka's Trijata as Gayatri Devi. Okay. Trijata is a symbol of Mother Gayatri, he says. Of course, in Gayatri Ashtottara Satanamavali also, Gayatri has another name, Trijata. Okay. Gayatri is called as Trijata for a vital reason. What is the reason? This Gayatri mantra has 3 lines. These 3 lines are taken to be 3 jatas. Okay. So, Gayatri is called as Trijata. And this Gayatri Devi and Sarama, if Trijata of Ramayana has to be Gayatri Devi, then Sarama of Ramayana also has to be Rigvedic Sarama. These are all the guardians of Sita Devi in Lanka. Very interesting thing. Symbolically, Valmiki wants to bring something to us, Sarama or Trijata. Even now, when we go to Sri Lanka, there is a place called Sitayamman Kovil. How many of you have gone there? Okay, very nice. Rambod, right? The place is Rambod. And the Westerners, when they were ruling, they changed the name as Rambod. Okay. And this place is a very beautiful place. There I was delivering the discourse of Sundarakanda. Very nice experience in Sitayamman Kovil. In that Sitayamman Kovil, Sita Devi as a tapaswini, that sculpture is installed. Apart from that, there is a Rama temple. In the same Sitayamman Kovil, Sita, Rama, Lakshmana with Hanuman, they are standing. But this tapaswini Sita, her sculpture also is installed. With her, I suggested the temple management. With her, why can't we place this Sarama and Trijata, two main friends of Sita Devi in Lanka, whom Maharshi Valmiki mentions. They are also important deities. And this Sarama can be connected to Rigvedic Sarama, I said. Trijata can be connected to Gayatri Devi. And these two characters symbolically represent those two deities of Rigveda. This is what I said. Coming back to the point. Okay. And I want to recollect a Mahabharata idea of Sarama. Mahabharata starts with a story. Even in the very beginning, if you go through Mahabharata, you can see this story. A very funny story. It may appear to be funny, childlike, but it has a message to be conveyed. A little dog is running and crying and coming to her mother and cries again. This little dog is named as Sarameya. This dog cries in front of the mother. Why are you crying? Mother is asking. The little dog says, No, I am crying because I went to the yajna of Janamejaya and I was beaten by a stone. I was chased out. That is why I am crying. Then the mother is asking, mother also is a dog. Mother is asking, did you perform any mischiefs there? Have you committed any mistake in that yajna for which you are beaten? Then this little one says, No. I did not commit any mistake. But I was beaten. I was stoned. Then the mother is coming to see that yajna. It is told in that way. Mother dog comes and says to Janamejaya, My dear Janamejaya, did my little one commit any mistake in your yajna? Did the little one try to take the oblation? He is asking. Janamejaya says, No. She did not commit any mistake. If she did not commit any mistake, why did you beat? Why your people have beaten this dog? Telling this unexpectedly. Up to this, some small story is going on. Telling this, that mother dog cursed Janamejaya. This is how the story starts. Janamejaya was shocked, and Janamejaya was approaching some rishis to come out of that curse. He wanted to perform some atonement. See, the story is there, nice story. See the message behind the story. In such a simple story of Mahabharata, what does it convey? Without any discomfort regarding any animal, we should not hurt them. We should not stone them just for our fun. That is the idea conveyed. Okay. And in that context it comes, this dog should not be same. The one uncle I was talking, right? May the apes come inside the car because they are Hanuman. The same way here in Mahabharata it is told, dog should not be stoned because dog is Sarama. All dogs are called as Sarameyas because Saramayaha ime Sarameyaha. These are the little ones of that Sarama, Rigvedic Sarama. This is the Sarama of Mahabharata. Okay. It's okay. And now let us come to Tantra. In Tantra, we need to see importantly Dasha Mahavidyas. 10 Mahavidyas. They are called as Vidyas. Vidya, of course, in Sanskrit dictionary it is education. But Vidya in Upanishads and Tantra is nothing but Upasana. 10 kinds of meditations for which 10 deities are used. All the deities are female deities. Among these 10 Mahavidyas, the first and foremost is Mother Kali. We all know Mother Kali, starting from our village, starting from some pujaris who dance as Kali, who talk as Kali, up to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the torch bearer of the whole world, a very important guru of the modern Hinduism. Okay. They all are worshippers of this Kali. And every Vidya, again, represents some concept. Kali is the presiding deity of time. And Bhuvaneshwari is the presiding deity of space. These two are, what to say, complementary. Okay. We have complementary asanas. Okay. Padahastasana. To Padahastasana, complementary asana is Ardha Chakrasana. If we perform one asana, we need to perform another asana also. Ardha Chakrasana to Padahastasana. Then only it strikes a balance. The same way, time deity Kali, Bhuvaneshwari is space deity. These are the two important deities. And time, again, I have forgotten his name. A very great astronomer. He says, he observes, only the Indian Jyotisha Shastra's age of universe approximately coincides with what science says about the age. Okay. He observes it. Okay. And he also says, only in Indian culture, time is not linear. Time is cyclic. Time has to be cyclic. Our rishis found time to be cyclic. Based on that only, we have the idea of rebirth. That's very interesting. Because our life is cyclic. Our life is time bound. Therefore, it should be cyclic. In fact, we see in the same life a cyclic pattern. That is why old age is called by Shakespeare as second childishness. Okay. As you like it. And of course, after death also, one comes back again to continue the life. He has to come back. Energy can neither be created nor be produced, nor be destroyed. This is the base of science. So, if I am here, I cannot be destroyed. I need not be destroyed. After death, I can become one with matter. You may tell. Before my birth, I was one with matter. From matter I came. I stay in matter. I have to merge in matter. Matter is the ultimate reality. This is materialism. But there was a very great scientist His name is Niels Bohr. Hope you may be aware of this name. Very advanced scientist. While the scientists were trying to do several researches regarding consciousness, this scientist observed, even though the scientists were talking a lot about consciousness, none of us, he says, none of us up to this time has even a minutest knowledge of consciousness. This we need to admit. Normally, very important feature of a scientist is he should thoroughly know what he doesn't know. And he has to admit that he doesn't know. Otherwise, he is neither a scientist nor a researcher. Therefore, without knowing anything about consciousness, without having even an iota of knowledge regarding consciousness, going on talking something about consciousness will not help. It will mislead. Better we can stop talking about consciousness. Our scope, our domain is matter. Let us more explore on matter. That kind of attitude few scientists had and few scientists have even now. So, to those kinds of scientists, matter and consciousness are distinct. Okay. Niels Bohr tells this. I thoroughly understand that consciousness is different from matter. If what he says is true, then like matter, consciousness also has to be beginningless. Correct? Matter is beginningless because matter may come from energy, but energy is beginningless. Material energy is beginningless. In the same way, conscious energy also has to be beginningless. If consciousness is not born out of matter, if consciousness doesn't get manifested from matter, then consciousness also is beginningless. It has to be, because it cannot be created, neither it be destroyed. What does it mean? It clearly means that we had previous births. That's all. If consciousness cannot be created, it clearly means that we had previous births. And we are going to have the next births. The whole life becomes cyclic, and the cyclic flow is going on and on and on. By admitting that consciousness is distinct from matter, we need to admit that consciousness is beginningless. By admitting the beginninglessness of consciousness, we need to admit the previous births. Finished. Okay. In this way, previous birth is a very important thing. In fact, in the modern days, the word karma is spreading like anything. Karma theory. If you go to USA, even among the schools where Hindus never study at all, where all the students are Caucasians, if something happens, like if your pencil is broken, then they say, oh, it's my karma. It has become a common expression throughout USA. This karma, the concept of, whether they understand the concept of karma or not, but the expression has come. Oh, it's my karma. I don't know how many Indians tell that. Oh, it's my karma. That's how they say. And if some thousands of children tell it's my karma, at least some hundreds may understand it. Okay, coming back to the point, I was talking about the cyclic life and the cyclic yugas, Kritam, Treta, Dwaparam, Kali. Again, going back to Kritam, Treta, Dwaparam, Kali. This is how it is taken by all the traditional scholars. but a great soul. His name is, I think, Lahari Mahashaya. Hope you know this name, some of you. He belongs to the Yogoda school. He wrote a Sanskrit text where he gives a new interpretation of this Smriti statement. He doesn't tell this cyclic thing is like, it's not like a Kritam, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, and again going to Kritam. It will be like a Kritam, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, and from Kali it will go back to Dwapara. Then to Treta, then to Krita. Then again Kritam will be repeated in this way. Anyhow, it is cycle. Time is cyclic. In this way, 4 yugas, and the 4 yugas make one Chatur Yuga. Like this, 71 Chatur Yugas are there, and these 71 Chatur Yugas make one Manvantara. And in this way, several mantras, 14 Manvantaras. 14 Manvantaras make one Kalpa. Like this, billions and billions and billions of Kalpas are going on and on. They are running. And it has no beginning, no end. This is the Hindu perception of time. That's interesting. And the Veda talks about time. Anubhischa, Mahadbhischa. It talks about Kala Vayavas. It says, Akshayat Sindate Yata Tham Nadyobi Samayanti Sorussati Na Nivartate. This is from Krishna Yajurveda. Like so many drops make a huge river. We have seconds, minutes, and also hours, and days and nights, and Pakshas, Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha, and Ayanas, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a meaning. They are not just rhetoric statements. Shukla Paksha means we are moving towards Paurnami. Shukla means white. This is white Paksha because we are moving towards the full moon day. Krishna Paksha means moon is declining. We are moving towards darkness. The full darkness day is called as Amavasya. And the full moon day is called as Paurnami. The Shukla Paksha and the Krishna Paksha, they together is a month. And a month is named after a star. This is Vaishakha Masa. Why it is called as Vaishakha Masa? Because it is named after a star, Vishakha. Why the star? Because this Vishakha star, it will be closer to the moon at the time of Paurnami of that month. Therefore, it is called as Vishakha Masa. The same way, Kritika star, when it becomes closest to the moon at the time of Paurnami, then that month itself is called as Kritigai. In Tamil we say. That month is named after Kritika. So, all these months are named in the same way. Anyhow, coming back. So, all these months, a year, then 6 Ritus, 6 seasons, with that 2 Ayanas, Dakshinayana and Uttarayana. Uttarayana means sun is moving in northern course. Dakshinayana means sun is in southern course. What does it mean? What does it mean? Hope you know. From Uttarayana, when you see the sky, sun will be appearing in northeast. Sun rises in east. From Uttarayana, sun starts to rise in northeast. In Dakshinayana, sun rises in southeast. That is how these 2 words are determined. See, nothing is here nonsensical. Randomly, Huh? Rhetorically, some names are kept. Dakshinayana, Uttarayana. It's not like that. So, this is Samvatsara. Samvatsaraha pratyakshena nadhisattvaha pradrishyate. And beyond the Samvatsara, there is, beyond this Kalavayavas, these parts of time, minute, hours, day and night, Paksha and Ayana, beyond all these parts, there is something called time. The Veda says. The concept of time. And upon that concept of time, all these parts are superimposed. And that basic time is not visible to the normal perception upon which all these things are superimposed. There is a question. Define time. Who can define? I have gone through several dictionaries. No definition is satisfactory. Nobody can define time. What is time? 4:45. See, I may ask, I did not ask that. I want the definition of time. Then people will tell me, are you going mad? Hey, whether you have definition of time or not, whether you understand time or not, we are using the time. That is enough. What is time? 4:40. We use the time. We don't know what is time. We don't know the definition of time. We don't understand the time, but we all use the time, and this small clock can show you what is time. Interesting. That boundless time, that which cannot be bound at all, that time can be shown by this small clock. The same way, the divine is infinite. Even if the time cannot be understood, how the divine can be understood? Divine is infinite, whether we understand the divine or not. Like the clock for the unbound time, the idol conveys what is divine. The idol in front of us, idol to which we are doing puja, we are using the divine in our life. Through that idol, we get connected to the infinite divine. Like through this small clock, we get connected to the unbound time. Please understand. But unbound time is always there. Na kalaha kalam atyeti, na kalaha parihiyate. And these things like seconds or nanoseconds or minutes and so on and so forth, all these things are just superimposed upon that unbound time. And from these things, we need to go to that unbound time. This is what our Taittiriya Shruti, Krishna Yajurveda says. And of course, unbound time is the real time. And that can be called as time in reality. These things are only vyavaharik. For our transactional purposes, we use the words like minutes and hours and years. But the unbound time is time in reality. And this unbound time is called as Mahakala. Please understand. Mahakal. And Mahakal belongs to which place? In India. Ujjain. Ujjain is a very great educational center for Sanskritam and Shastra, even now, up to our time. And this Mahakala, on those days, long before, Guptas were ruling the whole of India. They were the great Chakravartins, and their era was called as the golden era of India. These Guptas, they shifted their capital from Pataliputra to Ujjain. Okay, for a very important reason, that this Ujjain is the center of India on those days. Now Nagpur. Ujjain was the center of India. Being in the center, being in the center, to rule India, to govern India will become simpler. For that reason, they shifted to Ujjain. The great Vikramaditya. Okay. And his original name, I think, to my remembrance, is Chandragupta. It is not Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya is different. Sorry. Yes, thank you. Chandragupta. This Chandragupta was awarded with the title Vikramaditya. Do you know why? Aditya means sun. Vikrama means Kramapada Vikshepe. Striding sun. Striding sun. Again, it is connected to time. Connected to time. And there was a huge clock in Ujjain. Can I use the word clock? Is it right? Yeah. Huge clock in Ujjain. And that clock determined the time of the whole of India. The Gupta kings, they wanted to unify the country also through time. There are many linking forces in this nation. Okay. This nation is linked with so many things. Probably with the Vedas, with the culture, with the deities like Shiva, Narayana, Shakti, so on and so forth. This India, the nation, occurs as a nation because of so many forces. Among those linking forces, one of the most important linking forces is time. The whole of India has the same and single time. You go to USA, traveling from one place to another place, every district has a different kind of time. New Jersey has a different time. California has another time. Washington DC has another time. Okay. In India, we don't have that problem. The time of Ujjain is the time of the whole of India. And in Ujjain, the time appears as Mahakala. Lord Shiva is standing there as a time deity. And Mahakala's wife, Mahakala's consort is Mahakali. Okay. Both of them are time deities. Very important. Okay. This time and making upasana of time is very important in our Tantra Shastras and Yoga Shastras. For that, the symbolic representation is this Mahakali. The Bhuvaneshwari, time, to my knowledge, the Veda doesn't have any deity for time. Only Tantra has Mahakali. But regarding Bhuvaneshwari, Bhuvaneshwari is nothing but Mother Aditi of the Vedic literature. A Rigvedic deity named Aditi. Aditir Mata Sapita Saputraha Aditihi Vishwedevaha Panchajanaha. Aditir Jatam Aditir Janitvam. What is the meaning of Aditi? Someone is trying. Though, sorry. Guest. Okay, that is the first Atithi. Atithi means guest. Okay. Aditi. Aditi is etymologically from the root do. Do avakhandane. Do means division. Do also means two. Of course, in Hindi also do means two. And from do, Hindi do came, and English do came, TWO, do. D, all these things came. Do means two or division, from which the word diti comes. Aditi means without division. Okay, without Aditi, literal meaning is devoid of division, devoid of dualities. This is Aditi. And she represents the infinite nature, infinite mother nature. Diti is also mother nature, but she is a divided nature. Diti is divided nature. Diti represents narrowness. She is also mother in the Veda. And Aditi means the infinite mother nature. And of course, Diti has her own merits, advantages and strengths. For example, specifics are based on Diti. But a general approach of oneness, of course, diversity is Diti. Unity is Aditi. Unity in diversity, this is what we say. And this Mother Aditi, And the same concept we find in Tantra Shastra as Bhuvaneshwari. Indranya Devi Subhaga Jajana Sa Naa Ganvarchasa Samvidana Sikumhe Vyagra Utaya Pradakau Chushiragno Braham Hane Suryeya. The mantras run for Aditi. We see this mother everywhere as the Shakti. Okay. Tushihi Agnav. In fire we see her. And we also see in the lion and the tiger. Sikumhe Vyagra Utaya Pradakau. In lion and the tiger. And also in the elephants, we see the same Shakti. That Shakti is this mother Aditi. This is what the Veda says. So, this Bhuvaneshwari is that mother Aditi, the presiding deity of the space. Okay. These are the two complementary deities. I see in Dasamahavidyas, most of the deities as complementary deities. Second complementary deities, Tara and Bagalamukhi. Bagalamukhi may not be as famous. You might not have heard about her. Tara is a presiding deity of the word. She may be identical with Vedic Saraswati or Bharati. Bagalamukhi, this is interesting. Bagalamukhi is the presiding deity of silence. Okay. If you see the form of Bagalamukhi, if you Google the form of Bagalamukhi, that image will come. There, the Devi is in a very fantastic, in a very grand way, she is sitting. And a demon is standing there. She is holding the tongue of the demon. Not holding through, sometimes holding through hand, sometimes holding through some reel. Okay. Holding the tongue of the demon. She appears. This is her form, Bagalamukhi. What does it mean? She is a symbolic representation of silence. Maunam. Mauna Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. Gurostu Maunam Vyakyanam Sishyastu Chinna Samsayaha. We have two dimensions. One, the mantra, the word which is used for the sadhana. Another one, silence, which is normally in English we say vitale, right? In between the words. They say in between the words. That is the silence. Silence is extremely important. When it comes to the Guru Dakshinamurti, Dakshinamurti is giving the message of Vedanta to his disciples, who are not mumutshus but jnanis. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanatkumara. They are the disciples of Dakshinamurti. They are standing in front of Dakshinamurti or sitting sometimes. Dakshinamurti never opens his mouth. He is just sitting and he is in silence. His silence conveys Vedanta to these Sishyas, Sanaka and Sanandana. What does this silence convey? Beyond language, all the psychic modes, not only the external word is calmed, the internal thoughts are also taken to be words. Because most of the thoughts for us are in the form of language. They are also completely calm. They are also calm. So he is in absolute silence. Dakshinamurti is in embodiment of silence. In front of him, all the Sishyas are sitting. So calmness, not only of the external word, but also of Chitta Vrittis, it is represented or hinted by this Devata Bagalamukhi. And the next Devatas, two Devatas, let me take, complementary Devatas. Probably the most famous among the 10 Mahavidyas. What is that? Bala. She is called as Bala, she is called as Tripura Sundari, and she is also called as Lalita. we have Lalita Sahasranam. In fact, in Sahitya Shastra, even in Natya Shastra, Lalita has a very unique explanation. The word Lalita has a unique explanation. A woman who is very deep, who never expresses her emotions at all, she is called as Pragalbha. Okay. A woman who always expresses her emotions and who goes to the peak of emotions is called as Mugdha. And one who is in between Mugdha and Pragalbha, one who strikes a balance of Mugdha and Pragalbha is called as Lalita. Lalita has the beauty of both the expressions and Gambhirya, grandeur, depth. Okay. So this Lalita, Tripura Sundari, she is the presiding deity generally of beauty. She holds a sugar cane in her hand, and wherever, whatever beauty we see in the nature, and this is represented as Tripura Sundari. She is called as Bala because she represents the innocence. Okay. Generally, children are innocent. And the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Tasmatu Balyena. That's how it comes. The Jnanis always remain children. This is what Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says. What we can see in the great souls like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So, a childlike nature she has, therefore she is called as Bala. These are the three names of this Devata. Complementary to this Devata, another Devata. Her name, she is not so famous. Bala Tripura Sundari is the most famous Devata among 10 Mahavidyas. And another Devata is the least famous Devata among the 10 Mahavidyas. What is that? Dhumavati. She is called as Dhumavati. Her form, her appearance, she is a very old lady, age-old lady. If you see in the picture, Dhumavati is very old lady. People generally don't prefer to do upasana of her. And she also appears to be a widowed lady. And she represents old age. Symbolically, she represents what? Vairagya, detachment. Drishta anusarvika vishaya vitrishnebhyaha. Patanjali says, whatever we see, whatever we hear, detachment from all these names and forms is called as Vairagya. And this Devata, Dhumavati, is a Vairagya Devata. If someone wants non-attachment from the world, he can do upasana of Dhumavati. She has her own mantra and she has her own puja. The whole of thing is to offer us Vairagyam. Okay. These are the two complementary Devatas. Lalita, Tripura Sundari Bala and Dhumavati. Okay. Next, let me take another pair. Matangi and Bhairavi. Okay. Matangi is the presiding deity of aesthetic sense. And any kind of art, music, dance, painting, so on and so forth. She represents that. So she is a Kala Devata. Therefore, her another name itself is Kala. Okay. So any kind of art form comes to us by the puja of this Matangi. Bhairavi is the presiding deity of light, effulgence, splendor. So these are the two Devatas. Last two Devatas, I hope that I have covered 8. Correct? Okay. So 2 more Devatas. The most horrible Devata. More horrible than Kali herself, Mahakali herself. If you see her picture, you can understand. Yes, Chinnamasta. Her name is Chinnamasta. Masta means head. Chinnamasta means she whose head is cut. Okay. She is a headless Devata. Who had cut her head? She herself. That is her form. She, by a sword, she cuts her head, carrying that head on the hand, and of course, blood is coming out like a fountain. And that blood, this head is tasting that same blood. This is the form of Chinnamasta. This is very interesting. She doesn't have any other enemy. She swore her own head, carrying that in the hand. And this Devata is an Upasya Devata of a very great soul of previous century. Can anybody guess? A very great soul. He belongs to Tamil Nadu. And he wrote he contributed lots and lots in Sanskrit literature. And his personal deity is this Chinnamasta, who wrote a tantric text named Uma Sahasram. It's a guess. Uma Sahasram. I am giving a hint. He is none other than Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni. Hope that you know this name. Okay. At least you may be knowing Sri Ramana Maharshi. It is this Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni who named Ramana as Ramana. Okay. A very important saintly poet of previous century, who is a very great Upasaka of this Chinnamasta. Why this much horrible deity? What does she represent? What she symbolizes? This question can occur. Chinnamasta is nothing but cutting our own ego. Head represents ego. See, anything can be sworn on, but not the ego. Cutting of ego is the most important thing in sadhana. Yeah. Sadhana is nothing but eliminating ego. More you eliminate ego, more you are spiritual. Spiritual elevation, spiritual growth. I don't know whether I can call it as growth at all. What to say? Spiritual enhancement, spiritual elevation is nothing but elimination of ego, step by step. More you eliminate ego, more you are spiritual. That's all. Nothing other than that. Nothing else. Okay. So in that sense, see, we may do lots and lots of puja. We may do lots and lots of rituals and all. But if our ego is not cut, we may not be called as spiritual. Say, for example, Ravana is a great master of various rituals. He performed lots and lots of rituals in his life. Still, he is not called as a spiritual. He is a very great Vedic scholar. He also had scholarship. And he was also very rich in his life. And he also had a very deep aesthetic sense, for your information. Okay. He was highly artistic also, in spite of all these things, in spite of his Vedic scholarship, in spite of his artistic nature. He had a veritic ego. He was not taken to be a spiritual person. It's very interesting. In spirituality, nothing matters except ego elimination. You may use your ritual or puja or bhajan or arts, so on and so forth, for that ego elimination. You may use your service for that ego elimination. Ego elimination is the core through which one can go to the spiritual heights. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, Chinnamasta becomes a very important deity regarding spirituality. And the 10th one, a very important deity, Kamalatmika. Her name is Kamalatmika. Kamalatmika is none other than the glorious Mahalakshmi. Okay. She is also called as Kamala because she is always residing on the lotus. That is her picture. Okay. If you see her form, if you want to meditate her form, she is in lotus. And Shri Mantra, Shri Yantra, all these things are extremely important. This Mahalakshmi. Now, what is she? Lakshmi means auspiciousness. And she is a Devata found both in the Vedic literature and in Tantra. In the Vedas, there are various places where the Srihi or Lakshmihi is glorified. And we have the famous Sri Suktam. Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarnarajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Maavahe. In that very nice story of churning the Milky Ocean, from that Milky Ocean she appears. That's how it comes. From the Milky Ocean, so many dravyas are coming. Ashtavasus, 8 riches like Kaustubhamani, Airavata, Uchaisrava's horse, and the moon. All these things are coming out of the Milky Ocean. And Amrutam, ambrosia, is going to come. Who is going to bring that Amrutam? Dhanvantari, our God. He is going to bring Amrutam from the Milky Ocean. It means what in Puranas they call as Amrutam has highly connected to Ayurveda. Because Dhanvantari is Ayurvedic deity. Highly connected to Ayurveda. Amrutam is nothing but the essence of all the Oshadhis. We have lots and lots of pramanas for that in our Shastras. Okay, that's a different topic. Dhanvantari is a different topic. Now, what to say? Penultimate. Dhanvantari is going to come finally. But before that, who is coming here? Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is the preceding deity of auspiciousness. And she is dawning from the ocean. What is this ocean? Again, symbolic. What is this ocean? Ocean in the Veda always represents our heart. Samudra durmir madhu ma uda aradupamsu nasamay mritattvamanat Dhritasya nama guhyam yadasti jitva devanaam amrutasya nadhihi dhamante vishwam bhuvanam yadarpitam antasya mudre hridyantarayushi antasya mudre hridi antarayushi. It is a stream of life. It is our heart. Hridaya samudra. And when it becomes a sattvika, it can be taken as Milky Ocean. Of course, geographically, some part of the ocean was also on those days called as Milky Ocean. It's a different thing. Geographically, Milky Ocean is situated. Don't think that it is filled of milk. Name is Milky Ocean. Kshiravdi. I am talking about geographical ocean. In Ramayana, this geographical ocean comes when Vanaras are in search of Sita. They went to the eastern direction and went to some place, some samudram called Kshira Samudram, some Milky Ocean. See, if we call a river as Paladu, have you heard of it? Payasvini in Sanskritam. Please don't literally take it as the river filled with milk. Okay. Symbolic Milky Ocean is different. Geographical Milky Ocean, which comes both in Ramayana and Mahabharata, it has a location. Now it must be coming somewhere nearby Thailand, Cambodia, so on and so forth. I guess those regions are Shvetadvipa, told in Mahabharata. Even now, if you go to Thailand, in the airport, there will be a huge Amruta Matana, Milky Ocean churning. Not only that, this Amruta Matana story is extremely famous in those areas. Some connection is still remaining. That's interesting. Let us now go to the psychological, symbolic Milky Ocean, which is nothing but the ocean filled with milk means the heart filled with the Sattvika Chintana, from which the auspiciousness deity, Mahalakshmi, she is coming. As soon as she comes, she wants to wed. This is Lakshmi Swayamvara, whom we can get married, whom we can wed. She has a garland in her hands and she is in search of her groom. Am I right? Groom. Generally, I am getting confused with these two words, bride, groom. What is bride? Who is bride? Who is groom? She is bride, he is groom. Okay. This bride Mahalakshmi is in search of that groom, and so many persons are standing there. Varuna, Vayu, Agni. On seeing all of them, finally she has chosen Lord Narayana to be her husband. Bhagavatam says, Rama Mukundam Nirapeksham Ipsitam. She had chosen Narayana because Narayana is beyond the attachments. Lakshmi wanted Virakta Purusha, a person. Lakshmi generally adores only a person who is detached from his senses. Please understand, here Lakshmi means auspiciousness. Identifying Lakshmi with the wealth is a later development in Indian culture. Okay. We don't see anywhere wealth is adoring only the detached persons. But Lakshmi, the presiding deity of auspiciousness, Mangalyamastu Mama Mangala Devatayaha, she is Mangala Devata. This Mangala Devata, this auspiciousness, she adores whom? She adores the one who is detached from everything. Why he is detached? That is also important. Nirapeksham. Nirapeksham means not only detached, one who has not even a least of expectation in his life. Okay. And that Narayana she adored. And Lord Narayana, now he has become a Grihastha with Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi garlanded Narayana. Narayana is seeing, if one becomes Grihastha, then Griham has to come. Na Griham Grihamityahuhu Grihini Griham Uchyate. Okay. Home is not called as home, but only the wife is called as home. This is what the Shastra says. Home or house is required for wife. So Narayana is planning what kind of house we can build for her. Bhagavatam says in the same context, Jagadeka Bhartuhu. She swa praja sakarunena nirikshanena yatra stithaidayata sadhipatin trilokya. Please give me any house separately, then I can't be with you. I want to be with you always. Okay, let me be here, near with me. No, I can't be with you near also, because if some Gajendra calls, you will forget me and run to rescue the Gajendra. Neither I will be nearby you, nor I will be in a separate house. I will stay always in your chest. This is called as Srivatsa, the auspicious mark found in Mahavishnu's chest. If you go to Lord Venkateshwara in Tirumala, in all other sacred spots, in all other Vishnu temples, there is a separate Sannidhi, separate sanctum for Mahalakshmi. But in Tirumala, Mahalakshmi has no separate sanctum because Mahalakshmi is always residing in the chest of Lord Venkateshwara. Sa karunena nirikshanena yatra sthita aidhayata sadhipatine trilokyane. Mahavishnu, Narayana or Venkateshwara is very tall. So this is a very tall place in which by residing here, I can see all the devotees coming. Lakshmi Kataksha. I can have the benevolent glance upon the devotees who are coming to have darshanam of Lord Venkateswara. Thinking in this way, she had chosen the chest of Lord Narayana, and she is having a karuna kataksha, benevolent glance of all the devotees. All the devotees who have darshan of Lord Venkateswara are fulfilled. They become, what to say, filled with Lakshmi Kataksha, Lakshmi's grace. So, with this Lakshmi's marriage, today let us conclude the session. Tomorrow we will see a little Parvati's marriage also. And in the great Tantra Shastra, these are the 10 Mahavidyas. Today we dealt with this. Dhanyavad.